All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, misunderstood tools in all of finance: options. They often get talked about like there's some kind of financial magic or alchemy. And, well, understanding them is absolutely key to figuring out how the entire art of investing got turned on its head. And that right there, that's the core of our whole story. See, before options really hit the mainstream, the world of finance played by a totally different set of rules. When these things came along, it wasn't just a small step forward, it was a complete revolution. So that's the big question, right? How did this one financial tool unlock completely new ways to invest, create brand new kinds of risk, and basically give investors superpowers they never had before? To really get it, you've got to see what the world looked like before they even existed. Okay, so let's take a step back. Investing wasn't always this complex, strategic game we know today. In fact, it used to be almost brutally simple. Yep, that was pretty much the whole game. Your entire strategy was built around just two decisions. If you thought a company was going to do great, you bought its stock. If you thought it was headed for trouble, you sold it. That's it. A very direct, one-to-one kind of relationship with the market. But this super simple model, it had some huge drawbacks. For one, to make any real money, you needed a ton of capital right up front. Your bets were blunt instruments. You were either all in or all out, no in between. And, maybe most importantly, protecting yourself if things went south was really, really hard. It was a game of brute force, not finesse. And this is where everything changes. Into this world of simple, heavy-handed betting, a new tool comes along. A tool that almost felt like a secret weapon, giving investors a whole new playbook for the game. So what exactly is an option? Well, at its core, it's just a contract. But you gotta pay really close attention to that key phrase, the right, but not the obligation. That little phrase, that's where all the magic comes from. You get the choice to do something without being forced to do it. And that flexibility, it changes everything. Here is probably the easiest way to wrap your head around it. Imagine you're interested in a house, but you're not totally sure you want to buy it yet. You could pay the owner a small fee, a deposit, to lock in today's price for, say, the next 3 months. Now, you have the right to buy that house at that price, but you're not obligated to. An option is exactly like that, just for things like stocks. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how do they actually work in the real world? Well, it really just boils down to two fundamental types. Think of them as two sides of the very same coin. It's honestly this simple. A call option gives you the right to buy a stock at a certain price. So you'd grab a call if you're feeling bullish, if you think the price is going to go up. A put option is the total opposite. It gives you the right to sell a stock at a certain price. That's your move if you think the price is headed down. Up or down, buy or sell. And every single one of these contracts, doesn't matter if it's a call or a put, they're all made of the same four basic ingredients. You've got the stock itself, that's the underlying asset. You have the strike price, which is that price you locked in. There's an expiration date, which is your deadline. And finally, the premium. That's the small fee you pay for the contract, just like that deposit on the house. Okay, now we're getting to the heart of it. Knowing the ingredients is one thing, but seeing what you can actually cook up with them, that's something else entirely. This is where we see the true financial alchemy at work. Just look at this direct comparison. Let's say you want to get in on 100 shares of a stock that's trading for $50 a share. The old way, you'd have to shell out $5,000. Just boom, $5,000. But with options, you could buy one call option contract, which, by the way, also controls 100 shares, for a premium of, for example, maybe just $200. And when you see it like this, it's just, wow. On one hand, $5,000. On the other, $200 for exposure to the exact same potential upside. We're not talking about a small tweak here. This is a massive shift. This is the incredible power of leverage. So when you put it all together, options basically changed the game in three huge ways. First, that insane leverage we just saw. Second, risk management. Investors could now buy put options on stocks they already owned, kind of like an insurance policy to protect them from a crash. And third, it opened up a whole new world of targeted speculation. But, like any kind of alchemy, trying to turn a little into a lot, well, it comes with some serious risks. The very thing that makes options so powerful is also what can make them incredibly dangerous. You've really got two sides to this coin. The magic is that incredible leverage and the ability to manage risk with surgical precision.
But the danger is that if your bet goes wrong, you can lose the entire premium you paid, a 100% loss. And because they're complex, it's easy for small misunderstandings to turn into really costly mistakes.
So at the end of the day, here's what it boils down to. Options are a tool, a very powerful tool for sure. In the right hands, they can be used to do amazing things. But in the wrong hands, without a real understanding of how they work, they can backfire spectacularly.
And that leaves us with this one last question. Are they a magical way to turn financial lead into gold, or are they more like financial dynamite? The truth is, they can be both. And the difference? Well, that lies entirely in the hands of the person who decides to use them.